Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Well, as you can see, I let them out. So I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. That's the teenager. Looks full grown, but I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be a rooster, cause both roosters try to pick on it. I don't know if they're trying to mount it or trying to pick on it, but either way, he's big. I'm thinking it's gonna be a rooster. And if it is, I'm gonna keep him and put him in with all those black sex links. But the other two smaller ones that I'm gonna now call teenagers, I took them out of here and put them in there. And doggone it, they must have went through the waterer today, because they were in this pen with the baby sex links today. And the sex links were all hiding up under the boards that I've got leaned up in there on the sides. I've got a little piece of OSB so they can all fit behind it, but the bigger chickens can't get in there, so they're safe. But they were all huddled up in there except for 3 or 4. So, let me zoom in and get closer. And their waterer was empty. I only have 2 waterers. I need to buy a couple of more, or a bigger one or something that I can set in there. But they empty it. So when I get home, first thing I do is wash it out, fill it back up, and put it over there. And they all attack the waterer. The feed is easy for them to get to. So I'm going to fill all the feeders today, including theirs. But as you see, this teenager right here, I'm pretty sure that's going to end up being a rooster. We'll see. These two, see, he's doing his job to the adult hen, which is good. It's fertilized egg. So this white and brown one, I'm thinking is also going to be a rooster, but I'm not sure. It's not big enough yet. I'm really not big enough to tell for either one, but I put him in and that one in here with Sue. And that one flew over the fence and got back into this pen. Because I can't tell if Sue's trying to fight him or mount him. Her, it, whatever. So it flew back over here, and that's twice it's done that. So I'm not going to put him back over there with Sue. I'm going to leave him over here. But this one, I put him with Sue, and he just stays up on the roof so he don't get his butt whooped or mounted, whatever the case may be. But all 3 feeders need filling. This has got about a quarter. No, it's about half. Let me get where y'all can see. You can see the food down in the top. It's about half full. This one is down to less than a quarter. So I'll fill all 3 of them up today. But I'm not going to throw them any fresh scratch, because yesterday they were fighting over the scratch, even though I made 5 piles over here. So I said, y'all going to be mean. I took a half a scoop and chunked it out here in the run area, knowing they'd never eat all of it. And I threw some extra over there, and they didn't eat all of it. So there's a lot of scratch out on the ground, and they're all already picking at it. And see, these 2 won't back in there where the sex links are. But I think they were chasing the sex links and making them go under the boards. I don't want them in there, so I'll shoot them out here in the yard. But out of the 39 sex links, I do not have a single one that's died. I've had them, I think this is day 4. And I haven't had any that died. So they're all doing well. The 2 largest ones are the 2 that look like they've been picked on. They got some raw spots on the back or butt or whatever. But like I told my son, they could have been hatched that way. Sometimes you get a chick that's hatched with a sore or whatever, where it didn't quite break loose from the egg like it's supposed to. So I haven't seen any pick on them, but chickens' natural tendency is to pick at any other injured or sick animal. They will pick at it until they kill it. Whether they intend to kill it or not, I don't know, but those 2 are the biggest, and they're doing okay. And see how I got one running over here all by itself, getting close to the big waterer. So I'm thinking about screwing a board across there right above the waterer. That'll stop anything from coming through, instead of me trying to fix the wire and stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. But either way, I'm going to finish getting the feeders filled and all that. And I'm probably going to get in here and rake this pen out like I did the first one with the garden rake, and get as much of the loose stuff out as I can, because I've got a turkey that's laying on the ground and covering up the egg, and I just don't want to have to deal with trying to find the egg. So I'm going to rake this thing out and probably take that board off, you know, a few little things, and I hope it all works out. But I really do. This one walks a lot like a rooster. If you watch, you know, a rooster, you see how they stand up kind of straight. The hens walk a lot more flat, you know, as far as their back and stuff, with just their head up. See how she's just walking right there? But roosters, the head comes up much higher. They walk much more proud standing up. He's feeding the crow, I think. Nope, just flap his wings. But either way, that one may end up being a rooster. It kind of walks upright and kind of walks like a hen, so I don't know what it is yet. But I know when Sue or Junior grab it, they grab it by the wing or whatever, and it raises sand trying to get away, and so does the brown and white one. So maybe it's because they're not ready to be mated, or because they're a rooster and they're fixing to get the butt whooped. I just don't know. Find out when they get a little older. But I want to do a quick video and show y'all the landscape timbers are doing really well as far as holding the fence down, and I've cut grass, you know, and it's easy to go down with the mower and cut the grass, and it's gonna make it easier when I come down with the weed eater as well. And see, today I got 2 turkey eggs, which are not fertile because I don't have a male anymore, and 2 chicken eggs. Both of those chicken eggs should be fertile, but since I just started that incubator a few days ago, I don't need them, so they're just going in egg carton for me to sell to friends and family, because I'm not getting very many. But it's okay. I will save the however many days when these hatch. If the 5-day ones hatch and the 6 and 7 and 8 don't, then I'll save 5 days worth of eggs and put in there when these hatch that are in the incubator. If the 5 and 6 and 7 days hatch and the 8 don't, then I'll save 7 days worth and put in the incubator, or 12, whichever comes first. But they're out here scratching for the scratch I threw out yesterday and eating grass and weeds. And I'm probably gonna have to get in here this weekend and cut this grass because it's getting pretty tall, and I don't have enough chickens in here to eat it down, keep me from having to cut the grass. And y'all know I've got that little manual rotary mower right there that you can push and it spins. That thing, well, one is I lost a spring on one side, so it's only cuts on about half the blade, but it cuts good. But it takes a lot of energy to push that thing and make that blade spin and cut. And when it gets this tall, you have to run over it a couple times to get it cut, but it cuts it pretty. But that's for a crap hit the fan situation. You got to keep the grass down. Somebody's going to have a job, or if you're going to have a job of cutting some of that grass down. They ain't going to cut the whole place, of course. We'll probably plow up most of it and be planting big gardens. But either way, I've checked my figs every day. Guys, I had a dozen figs that were, you know, a light brown, almost ready to pick. I left on there, and the birds beat me to every one of them but 1 or 2. And then the next day I checked, I got 1, and there's a rabbit out there again, right in the middle of the screen. But look at this. I got just a hair over an inch of rain, if I hold it right. Right on an inch. So we had a pretty good rainstorm last night. I don't think we've got any today. Oh, there's another rabbit out there in the yard. So there's 2. And I didn't cut the field this time because the only part that gets thick is where the septic lines run. I did cut that, but the field's not that thick, so I skipped it, and I'll cut it the next time I cut. But I did cut back here where I didn't before. So either way, I'm gonna walk around here and look at my figs and see if there's any that I can pick and save from the birds. But the scuppling vine or muscadine, whichever one y'all want to call it, is starting to grow and attach itself to the fence, which is exactly what I wanted to do once I started training it. It's doing really well. This one's unrounded the corner and starting to attach, so I'm pleased with it. I'm just hoping it keeps growing and eventually it'll be big enough that I can actually harvest some scupplings off of it. And I may end up planting more, you know, on the inside of the fence so the goats can't eat the stem and all. But look at that pear right there. Something's ate almost half of it. And I'm guessing that's squirrels and rabbits. But I've looked at them. There's none there that are fit for me to eat. If they're pretty, they're full of worms. And if they're not, you know, they ain't fit for me to eat. But the pears that I've thrown on the ground are nothing left but a seed. So the wild animals, birds, rabbits, squirrels, all that, have taken care of the ones I dropped that I couldn't do anything with. But I've got this new shoot coming up right here. So I'd really, really like to let it continue growing and be my main trunk line and cut this one off this year so it doesn't break like the other one did. And let this one grow straight up is what my goal is. And if it'll grow straight up and I can kind of keep it pruned and trained to stay straight, then I can cut this off this year. And it'll be another year or two before it produces fruit, but at least it'll be straight. And then the figs. And I've got some that are pretty much the size of my thumb, right up there. The birds have beat me to 95 or more % of the ones that I wanted to harvest. And I have managed to get 3 in the fridge that were soft and ready. See, these aren't soft, but they're starting to turn colors. I'm hoping they'll soak up some of that moisture we had from the rain yesterday, but all these are still a little bit too hard to pick. And I took a lot of the rust leaves yesterday and broke them off and just dropped them to the ground. So I don't have any that's ready to pick. The birds beat me to most of them. And the birds will pick at them until they break off and then they hit the ground and then they'll grab them and take off. And there won't be anything left. But I still don't have any blooms or anything on the apple tree. I'm pretty sure these babies are coming down this year. They're just taking up space. So I may take some cuttings off of it and try to root them so I can plant more apple trees out in the field where I want more fruit trees. But honestly, we don't get enough frost hours for apples, so it's kind of a futile effort, you know. But anywho, I just have not had the time nor energy to get back here and work on this goat pen. I need to clean off the roof of the chicken pen. It looks like I got a dent where a limb hit it, but it'll be all right for now. When I'm working on the pen, maybe I'll get that done. Excuse me. So the blueberry bushes are done for the year. I'm starting to get a lot more new growth on them, and I would really like to take some cuttings on them and try to get them to root so I could have a dozen or more blueberry plants. That would be awesome. But I don't have the green thumb, y'all. I'm trying. And that's why I planted so many trees when I originally planted. I had over 30 over here in this little fruit orchard, and this is what's left. The reason I plant trees is because they're a lot less work than planting a garden. And the bigger they get, the more they produce without a whole lot of effort. And see that nectarine tree, it's really got a lot of new growth out the bottom, but the old stem just looks like it's died off. So I'll probably end up cutting it, and I'd like to take a few of those new growths and pot them and try to get them to root so I'll have more than one nectarine tree. The other one, my son ran over with the lawnmower. So, anywho, he didn't mean to. Even though I warned him about it before he started cutting in there, he still managed to run it over. It's all right. I still love him, y'all. But, anywho, still a lot of work to do. I've got all the parts in for my air conditioning in the truck, the compressor, a new dryer, new blower motor, and I'm hoping that I've got a couple guys coming over this weekend that are planning on coming over anyway, and change those for me, so I'll have air conditioning in my personal truck again, and hopefully better than it ever was, because it's all new stuff. And I told him today, I was talking to him, that I could take the mower out and the wagon out and the backhoe out and give them room to park under here and work if it's, you know, sunshiny and hot, or if it's raining a little bit or whatever. I can get them out of the rain and out of the sun so they could work on it, but we'll see. So you see the little brownie white one there. I have not figured out a name for it. The hens chase it just as much as the roosters do. So I don't know if he's going to be a rooster or a hen, y'all, but I'm thinking that one's going to be a hen because the size is so much smaller than the other one, and they're the same age. They all hatched up under one chicken. But I just don't know. I don't know. I hope it turns out to be a hen, but we'll see. If it's a rooster, one of them's going to have to hang around to finish the third set flock, and then one of them's going to have to go to the freezer. And that's just part of being a homestead. Now, I'm not raising pets. I'm not rescuing animals. I'm raising food. And, you know, I've got both my daughters, my oldest and my middle child, and both of them are married. One has 2 children. The other one has 3, talking about having a 4th. And, you know, they could always use extra meat in their freezer. Now, both of them deer hunt and all that stuff, but like most people in the world today, chicken is a big part of their diet because that's what people can afford to buy, and it's getting very high. So I'm planning on butchering most of those sex links and put them in freezer and fill up my daughter's freezers and finish filling mine, even though I've got several hundred pounds of chicken in the freezer. It's just part of prepping, being ready to feed everybody that's planning on being here. It's a lot when you run a homestead by yourself, and, you know, upwards of 50 people plan on being on that property. If something severe happens, complete economic collapse, World War III breaks out, you know, EMP, whatever, if it's severe enough to where you can't make a living on your job and survive, people are planning. I've got over 50 people that plan on bugging out to my homestead. And some of them will be, if they can, will bring campers. Some of them will bring tents and things like that. But that's a lot of people to feed. And I'm not planning on feeding them all, but I at least need to have some food, you know, to start everybody off, so to speak. And that's why I prep as much as I do. But either way, this little fellow or lady right here should be the first one that starts laying. It's older. I hope it's a female. We'll see. Still got a couple months, I think, before it'll start laying. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching my videos. I'm going to go in there and show y'all something. I was looking in that first pen, and there's one of the baby's black sex links is up in the nesting box just looking. These babies are healthy and strong and don't have a problem jumping a foot high to get in the nesting boxes. They're very playful. Look at all of them around the feeder. Let me zoom in for y'all. Look at all of them. Excuse me. Around the feeder, and then there's a bunch more up under the nesting boxes over by the waterer. And there's one back here that I don't know why sits by itself. It was sitting by itself when I got home from work and walked over. But there was one inside the nesting box looking down a little while ago at the other babies. And there's some over here by the door. They're spread all over this pen, y'all. They're healthy, and they're not scared when these other adults and bigger chickens aren't in there with them picking on them. So I plan on leaving them by themselves till they get a little bit of size to them. But I got a buddy at work that I gave some chickens to, you know, some of the Wyandottes and Blue Orpingtons, that said he wanted some of these babies. I told him to come get what he wanted. I mean, I got 39 of them, y'all. So let him come get a few if he wants them. And then the other guy that I gave the Blue Orpingtons and some Wyandottes to, his son works with me, rides with me most days. And I told him to let his dad know if he wanted a few of those, that he was welcome to them. And they're the ones actually going to do the air conditioning on my truck, as far as parts wise. So I'm going to let him have a few if he wants to take some home. And they don't have to do it right now. They can wait till they get a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm going to share because we got them at such a good price. I'm not worried about money. Friends is friends. And I'm going to continue incubating like I am now with my Rhode Island Reds. And these are being raised strictly to go to the freezer. If they turn out to be really good egg layers, then of course I'll keep a dozen of the hens. But if they turn out to be like the Blue Orpingtons, will lay good for a little while, then they'll quit, and then they'll lay good, and then they'll quit. And the Wyandottes basically almost completely quit in the coldest part of winter and fall. They lay pretty well in the summer. And actually, one of the guys says he can't even, he's got a family, a wife and a couple of kids. He's like, we can't even keep up eating as many eggs as those. I think I gave him 5 or 6 hens. He said, we can't keep up with eating that many eggs. They're laying good. And I'm like, well, I'm glad they are, because they didn't lay good for me, and I got tired of feeding them when they wasn't laying. So, and of course, then the dogs got my chickens, and now I don't I don't have near as many as I should. I'm working on it. Guys, appreciate you watching the videos. All you new subscribers, thank you very much. It means so freaking much to me. Y'all just don't know. Everybody knows YouTube is very left-leaning in their views, and I know they're making a lot of changes for people with gun sponsorships and all that stuff on those gun channels. They're got to delete videos for so far back that had sponsorships on them. And look, I understand what they're doing. That's what they want to do, but they're cutting their own throat. But it makes it very hard for us small channels to grow. I have no gun content on my channel because they gave me a warning when I had a video up of shooting single action cowboy pistols, 22s, single action, on the range. It had been up for over a year. It had over 30,000, I think it was 30,000 views, definitely over 20,000 views. And they gave me a warning and took the video down. And so they actually made it private so only I could see it. I took the video down and posted it on Rumble. But it's just hard for me to keep up with Rumble and YouTube. Rumble is so much more complicated as far as a content creator. And you make money a lot sooner with Rumble. I've got a few cent in my account, and I mean a few cent, like 6 cents or something. But guys, uploading a video to Rumble is so much more complicated than it is with YouTube. I can do it with my phone or the computer for YouTube, and I pretty much have to do it with my computer for Rumble. And it just makes it complicated. If they would make their platform a little bit more content creator user friendly, then I would definitely start pushing it more. But it's the same name as here, but I just can't. I can't take an hour to upload a 20-minute video. I just can't do it. So, especially since I don't have internet at home. All I have is my phone with hotspot. Can't get internet out here yet. They haven't activated all the new lines they ran. But either way, I'm going to get off here, guys. Thank y'all for the subscriptions, for the likes, for the comments. All of that stuff really means a lot to me. And there was one that's been following me for a while, Japan Ham. I can't remember the rest of it. Really good guy. We've had quite a bit of conversations back and forth. I think I upset him with my communications radio thing with the amplifiers and all, and that is not my intent. We're not all going to agree on everything, but the guy seems like a really, really good guy. I wish I could meet him in person. But either way, yes, I know linears are illegal for CB radio. I don't use them, but I've got them if I need to. If crap hits the fan and the rule of law is gone, there's nothing saying you can't use them. And I would like to have a few just in case of that. But I don't think we saw eye to eye on it. And I haven't had any comments from him since. I think he got mad at me. So, Japan Ham, if you're out there listening, I apologize, sir. I do appreciate you. Guys, y'all have a great day. Remember what I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.